and welcome to this week's QPR Preview Show. QPR didn't get the new manager bounce under Gareth Ainsworth that we were all hoping for. It was yet another defeat against Blackburn, a fourth defeat in a row, which leaves us with what I guess you now have to describe as a match against another relegation rival, really, as we make the trip to Rotherham this weekend. We'll look ahead to that one shortly. First, that defeat against Blackburn, I think it's safe to say that it didn't go to plan, Dave.
No, it didn't really, did it? I mean, first half was a lot better. I thought we were like on the front foot a lot more. We looked all right, I thought, and we were sat there like going at half-time level. That's not too bad. But then we give that second goal was shocking the way they give that away. It's just completely switched off. And second half was a bit of a wake-up call for Ainsworth. I think that was poor, wasn't it? I mean, they just didn't offer anything second half. Blackburn could have won by more. I thought they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit second half. Yeah, it was a worrying performance second half, and I thought from the minute Chair went off, really, it started to go wrong. We really missed him.
Yeah, it seemed to deflate the team, and that's at the moment we're on such like a knife edge, aren't we? One little thing, concede a goal, of someone go off injured, and it can affect them so much. And you make a good point about Blackburn, is kind of what we've said a few times about teams. They're not even getting out of like second and third gear, yet they're winning very comfortably against us, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't say, oh, they looked a fantastic team and they played us off the park. We give them two of the goals, well, three of the goals, really, or we just gifted them, didn't we? I mean, that second goal, the gap between the two centre-halves was unbelievable. They were like at different ends of the penalty area.
Yeah.
And the guy he just walked off him and off Dickey and Kakai and into space and scored. I mean, and the third one where he just leaves, was it Dazelle and Powell on the wing, wasn't it? He just left them two for dead. And then the guy's got a tap in. It's just awful defending. And, you can't keep giving goals away like that. And they say teams haven't got to play that well to beat us and to beat us comfortably.
Yeah, you're right. That second one in particular, I was going to say then Rob Dickey. What on earth if you actually just watch him? He's just running aimlessly forwards, and the man's just running behind him. It's schoolboy stuff, and he has got his work cut out, Ainsworth, to get us turning it around. Because one win in 19 games, it's getting more and more unbelievable every week. Saying that as the stats go up. And if I'm being honest, I was a bit concerned by Ainsworth's comments after the game. I know he was probably trying to be positive and things like that. But he kept saying he was impressed with the players. He said he was pleased a few times. He said it on the EFL show as well. How was he pleased really with what he was seeing there?
I think Critchley tried the bad cop routine and it didn't work. It backfired a bit sharpish. I think he's not daft. He knows this is his team for the rest of the season. He needs to rely on them. And he's got to try and boost them and get a bit of confidence in there. I don't believe for a second that he thought that was a good performance, or he didn't look happy with it on the sideline and after the game. But he has to try and publicly back the players and try and get something out of them. They need 3-4 wins out of the last few games to stay up, and it should still be doable. But you need to start getting those wins soon.
Yeah, my concern, I suppose, with him saying that is that if the players listen to him and they think that this is all right and this is acceptable, and it could go the other way against him, because he literally said, I think they gave me everything and that's all I can ask. And I was thinking, did they really give you everything? Because if they are, then we are in massive trouble, aren't we? I just didn't see it the same way as him. Hopefully he's just saying it for a reason and he gets the reaction he wants. And I said last week he needs to be brave and drop the players. But I think my fear is that if he truly believes they are caring and giving him everything, then he's not going to make those changes we need, is he?
No. I think it was obvious a few of the changes you need. I mean, they're so poor at the back at the minute. I mean, the sooner if I don't know where Balogun's gone, but if they can find him before the end of the season, it'd be handy. But they're just so poor at the back. It really needs to be sorted out. I mean, they've got to change to a back three. I know they're short on numbers back there, but it just seems obvious to me. They're just so lacking confidence. I mean, I don't know what's happened to Rob Dickey. He's gone from a player you think, oh, we'll get a few million quid for him. He's going to go into the Premier League. And, I can't believe he's playing for a championship team the way he's playing. He's awful at the minute. And he just looks shot to pieces. Maybe going to back three might help him, but, it looks a mess, doesn't it, at the minute?
Yeah, he's literally become a bit of a liability. You kind of know you're going to get an error, or he's switching off. He's giving the ball away on every level. His game has just gone to pieces, like you said. But he needs to take decisive action because we can't just keep performing like we are and hope it changes around, because it's now, we hope it's going to change every week, but it's become about survival now. There's absolutely no denying it. And I think this next period of games, in the next six, four of the matches are against teams below us, obviously starting with Rotherham away. So this is our chance to get the points we need, really. Rotherham, they're not exactly flying either, but they're proving harder to beat than when they've been previously at this level. They don't score a lot. They've only got 9 in the last 10. They don't concede many more than that either, though. Tough team. And I sense this could be the year when they don't yo-yo back down to League One, do you think?
Yeah, I think they might just have enough this year, especially considering there might be a points deduction coming for Reading by the sound of it. I think they might just get out of it. I mean, with them at the weekend, you just seeing their forwards worries me. I mean, they've got Connor Washington. God knows the last time he scored a goal. Jordan Hugill hasn't scored a goal yet, has he? It's us, and it. You just know one of them's going to score, or probably both.
Yeah, when you think how charitable we've already been to the likes of Jeff Hendrick, Jack Clark recently, it's your first goal scorer bets have got to be on either of them this weekend.
Yeah.
And I think Hugill was a good signing for them. I'm surprised we didn't go for him if we knew we were going to then have to go after Chris Martin, because he's been the best goal scorer we've had in all the recent seasons, back to probably Charlie Austin. What was it, 15 goals he got? I sense we missed a trick there, and Rotherham are probably going to reap the benefits of having him. QPR, of course, we've touched on, but let's delve a little bit deeper. In the form table for the last 6 games, we're bottom. For the form table for the last 10 games, we're bottom. Since we were top of the league, the form table, we're bottom. It's a hell of a hole we've dug ourselves into, and we've touched on it there, but there's so many players out of form, so many players injured. You actually start to wonder if we can turn the corner, don't you?
Yeah. Apart from all that, it's going really well. But yeah, I mean, I just it's hard to know what he's going to do at the weekend, because you just look at the squad and you think, right, he needs to make changes, and then you look and go, well, where is there? All the ones that you need to bring in are injured. You know, Amos was back on the bench at the weekend. I mean, if he's fit, I'd have him involved. Said before, I'd definitely switch to a back three. You know, if Laird's out, you know, maybe play a Doma wing back again like he played last season. It's not ideal. He's not a great defender, but it's not as though we're defending particularly well anyway, are we? I do think he needs to change it up. They said this is a massive game. They're a team below us. They can go above us if they win. You know, the games coming up, they need to get the points in these games, because you look at our end of the season, we've got like Norwich, Burnley, Stoke away. If we haven't got the points on the board by then, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, these next 6 with the 4 teams below us, this is make or break, really. If we go through this without a win still, we're doomed, I think, especially when you say those fixtures we've got after that. And again, there you just said the hope is that you're thinking, right, well, when we get the likes of Willett back, Dykes back, Amos maybe can come in, then maybe we can improve. But then you realise that this bad run's been going on for so long. They were actually playing when we've been on this run. So are we actually even going to change once we get them back? It's alarming on every single level, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, you look at Willock, he's, you know, probably our best player, but he couldn't get in the team a couple of weeks ago because he was playing so poorly. So it's like we need him back fit, but we need him back playing like he was like a year ago rather than what he was before. You know, it's a difficult situation. You know, you looked at the bench last week, like second half, we've like got to make some changes. Be like, who does he bring on really? There's nothing really there to change anything. You know, Sinclair Armstrong the last 20 minutes, you know, can give you a bit of life, but he's missing again at the minute, isn't he? So yeah, it's not an easy job he's come into.
Yeah, I think because we're losing anyway, I think he just needs to give, like, you've got Dixon Bond has been on the bench, I think, the last 3 or 4 games and not even been given a minute. He needs to give him 20 minutes. Can he come on? He must be keen to impress. It's kind of like his career's make or break. He's got to be Gubbins as well, another example. Maybe that's the route he's going to have to take now and try these, because pretty much every other option we've got isn't working. No matter what we try, we're losing. I mean, we're going to come across obviously negative saying all this, but it's just the truth that it's the run that we're on. I do at the moment fail to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because we've kept thinking every week, this will be the one, this will be the match where we get points. We've said it all the way through January, all the way through February. We're now in March. It just goes on and on and on. And obviously, on top of that, the chair injury, that's the main talking point, obviously, with QPR this week. The reports of him being in tears when he was leaving the pitch. As much as he's not having his best season, we cannot afford to lose him right now, can we?
Yeah, you just saw. I mean, it's not as though we were brilliant the first half hour. I thought we were better, but as soon as he went off, all the attacking threat went out the team. The whole balance of the attack went. We really missed him, and Chair's not playing well. He's been as poor as everyone else recently, but you really do miss him when he's not there. And if he is out for a while, it didn't look great when he went off. Yeah, it's not going to be not going to be easy for us. He's going to have to try and find a way to maybe change the shape of the team a bit, because we've been a team when we were good. We had the two number 10s like creating chances and scoring goals. We've lost both of them now, so he's got to play slightly differently. We were talking the other week about is Ainsworth's style of play going to be different to direct? Maybe we need to go a bit direct the next few weeks just to get the points on the board and reset in the summer.
Yeah, it could even be good if we could get Dykes back potentially and put him and Martin up front together, go 3-5-2 and just go long to both of them, cause teams a handful up front. There's just got to be something that changes, because the idea that we're just suddenly going to change when we're doing the same thing, it's just not going to happen. Now we're seeing it match after match. Well, for 19 matches, one win. And when we talk about Chair, it's just crazy because there's always the stats, aren't there, that he creates the most chances in the league, and he's usually way out in front in that as well. And then it doesn't actually feel like we even create that many chances. So when you take him out of the team, you wonder whether we're actually going to create anything at all without him. That's a big concern. Depends how long he's out, obviously. It's worth touching on the defensive woes too. You touched on them before, but Jack Supple put up an amazing stat this week that it's the first time since 1994 that we've conceded 3 or more goals in 3 consecutive games. We haven't kept a clean sheet yet this year. And the trouble is, we just look a million miles from making it hard for teams, don't we? And that should be the minimum. If we're now going to basically be scrapping for our lives, we need to make it hard for teams to beat us, not conceding 3 every week and giving ourselves a mountain to climb.
Yeah, they're just so wide open at the back. I mean, I thought Kakai had quite a decent game last week going forward, and I come out of it going, "Oh, he's played really well here." But then you watch the goals back, you're like, "What's he doing for the 3 goals?" Defensively, he's positionally, they're just so poor at the minute. We touched on Dickey, and his form's gone to pieces, hasn't it? I don't think Powell's been very good recently either. And even in midfield, they don't seem to stop runners coming forward. We seem so open at times. It does feel to me like you get a bit of adversity in the game. They tend to start off all right, get a bit of adversity, and it's like, oh, we just fall apart. And yeah, they need to tighten up at the back. If you're going to keep conceding 2-3 goals a game, we know we're not going to score enough goals to win anything. So they got to start getting clean sheets.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just need to, even if we can limit it to 1, we're not scoring more than 1. What if we scored 2 against Reading, and that was the only match we've done that in this whole run? We need to stop conceding to try and get draws, points, anything. Do you fancy for us for a clean sheet this weekend then? Source at least some points. What do you think? You were optimistic last week, but I imagine that hasn't lasted long.
Yeah, that's gone. Yeah. Oh, I don't think we keep a clean sheet. I don't fancy us to keep a clean sheet against anyone at the minute. I'm hopeful of getting a result up there, though. I think it's a big game. There's quite a few fans going up there. Hopefully, be a good atmosphere up there. I can't predict a win because I just can't see where a win's coming from. But I'm hopeful to get a draw up there. Maybe get a point on the board and get going from there. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'd take a draw all day long, wouldn't you? It just keeps another team below us. It stops the rot, because it's like you said at the start, 4 defeats in a row. It's the worst one of the season if we make it 5 defeats in a row, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's actually getting hard to look back in the QPR history books to find the stats, because we're starting to break generational records of stuff. It's quite unbelievable. Fingers crossed we can get a point. I do have to admit, though, with Washington and Hugill lurking over us, I fancy we're going to lose this one. And hopefully I'm wrong. We'll be back next week to preview a double header. We'll have Watford and then a massive match potentially away at Blackpool. Surely the mood can't get any bleaker by then. But thanks for watching anyway, and come on, you Rs.
We know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.